Welcome to Daily Math Concepts. What I will be looking at today is on how to rationalize our denominators. So we're starting off from the basic ideas. Sometimes we will be working on problems and we're going to end up with a radical in our denominator. If we do not want that as an answer, we're going to have to rationalize, which means that we want to get rid of that radical should say, in our denominator. So what we could do is we're going to take that same radical. In this case here, it is going to be the root of 5. And I'm going to multiply it by my numerator. And I'm going to multiply it by my denominator just the same. So technically, if I multiply my numerator and my denominator by the same thing, then I really did not alter anything. At this time, I'm going to execute. So 5 times root 5 will give me 5 root 5. But when I multiply the root of 5 times the root of 5, I'll definitely get 5. So at this time, I have 5 root 5 over 5, but this 5 would cancel this 5. The final response is the root of 5. Let's take a look at this one right here. Now, for this one right there, right? For this one right there, what we're looking at is that I have a negative, then I have 6 over the root of 3, root of 2. There are many ways I can approach this. I could take this negative and just make it a part of my denominator. So I could look at it as negative 6 over the root of 2. So I could see it a little bit clearer, so I could feel a little bit better, but it's fine. That's one way we could just do it. Now, the aim is to get rid of this root 2. So I'm going to multiply my numerator and I'm going to multiply my denominator by the root of 2. So let's carry out the activity. This is going to give me 6 root 2 all over root 2 times root 2 will give me 2. At this moment, I can cancel 2 into itself 1 and 2 into 6, 3. My final response would be negative 3 root 2. All right, let's look at one more. And then we look at other cases. For example, if I have number 4 here, all I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3, the root of 3. Then I'll have 6 root 3 over 3. By this time, you do realize that if you should square the root of anything, you'll get back that same thing. So 3 into itself 1, 3 into 6, 2. My final response is 2, the root of 3. Now, pause this video and try number 6 for yourself. All right. So if you did it correctly, then you're going to multiply the numerator by the root of 7 and the denominator by the root of 7. Now, 2 root 7 will give us 2 root 7. But when we multiply a root 7 by itself, it's going to leave us with 7. And then this is the final answer. Also, what if you wanted to write it like this? 2/7 root 7 is the same thing, right? So whichever one you prefer, this or this, that's the same answer. In this case, like what we have at number 20, we're still going to be rationalizing because we're definitely seeing the radical in our denominator, and we do not want that. So what we're going to have to do is to multiply by the conjugate. What is the conjugate? The conjugate is to have this binomial here, write back everything, and then we're just going to change the sign. For example, I would have written back everything, but this negative here will become a positive. So that's when we get the conjugate. So I have the same expression, but the negative becomes the positive, and the positive becomes the negative, right? So what we're going to do to rationalize that, we're going to take the conjugate. So I'm going to multiply the denominator and the numerator by the conjugate, for example. 5 plus the root of 2, 5 plus the root of 2. We're doing this so that we will be able to set up an idea like a completed square response. For example, let's look at what happened for the top here. There's going to be a 2 here, and I have 5 plus the root of 2 over whatever I'm going to get from this response. Now, we could look at this the long way, or we could just look at a quick way out. Let us look at it the long way first, and then I'll show a quick way to get there. If I'm looking at this the long way, I'm going to have to distribute everything from this bracket in that bracket, right? So that's the long way out. Let us go. So we're going to have 5, and we're going to multiply that by 5. Hold on, this should be a plus already. I'm going to multiply that by 5 plus the root of 2. Then I'm going to take the negative 2 from the first bracket, the negative root 2 from the first bracket, and I'm going to multiply that by the same thing, 5 plus the root of 2. So basically, I am applying the regular distributive law right there. Let's carry this out. 5 times 5, this is 25. Then we'll get plus 5 root 2. Then we'll get minus 5 root 2, or root 2 times 5, same thing. Let me put the, and then the root of 2 times the root of 2 is 2, but this is a negative, so we'll get negative 2. Let's take a quick look. What are we noticing here? What we did here right? So this is 25 minus 2. This is equal to 23. So my final response is 23. Now, what we want to look at quickly is the fact that what we could do here is 5. If I have 5 plus the root of 2, and if I have, I'm going to multiply that by 5 minus the root of 2. Now, this is the factorization for the difference of 2 squared. So what happened is the middle term for the difference of 2 squared will be gone. So I'm only focusing on getting out the first term. I'm only focusing on getting out the first term and getting out the last term. Because what I understand from the difference of 2 squared, that the middle term will be gone. For example, 5 times 5 will give me 25. Root 2 times root 2 is 2, but this is negative, so I'm going to be minusing 2, and that is how I got the 23. So I'm just saying that this is the working out to get the 23, but definitely we could quickly look to see what goes on to get that. I'm going to multiply this by 3 minus 4 root 3 over 3 minus 4 root 3. Because I'm looking at the conjugate, right? Because this is positive, so I have to multiply by the negative. Now let's go. At the top, I'm going to get this. So I'm going to put the 5 outside for now. Then I have 3 minus 4 root 3 here. Underneath, currently, this is going to multiply by this, but all the numbers I'm going to be working with is this times this will give me 9. And then the 4 times this 4, that's at negative 16. And then root 3 times root 3 will give me 3. So basically, I'm going to have 5, 3, 4 root 3 over 9 minus 48. My final response is 5, 3 minus 4 root 3 all over negative 39. So there it is, right? So we could just work it out like that. Let's do one more. So in this case here, at number 25, I'm going to multiply by negative 2 plus the root of 2 over negative 2 plus the root of 2. Let us take a look at the top part, right? So 4 on the outside will be multiplied by negative 2 plus the square root of 2. Underneath, I'm going to have negative 2 times negative 2. That's going to give me a 4. And then this is going to be root 2 times root 2, but it's negative. So one is negative, one is positive. So I'm going to get a negative 2 coming off. Now let's break this down. 4, negative 2 plus the root of 2 over 2. Let's cancel. What are we looking at? 2, open bracket, negative 2 plus root 2. So this is my response. If I want to distribute the 2 inside, then I'll definitely get negative 4 plus 2 root of 2. And there you go. Thank you for watching Dilemmas Concepts. And we were just rationalizing using the conjugate and using the simpler ones. See you next time.